What's up, everybody? This is the Chicago Sports Talk, Michael, doing a mock off season of the Chicago Bears. I just want to get into discussion. If you are new to the channel, hit that hit like and subscribe button if you are new. But the thing about I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing Black Monday firings because I'm going to fire someone in particular. There's some fifth-year options, there's some re-signings, and there's some free agency signings that the Chicago Sports Sox. So I'm just going to pretend I'm the general manager of the Chicago Bears, and this is how I would absolutely set up the Chicago Bears in success of the 2024 season. So we're not going to get into contract details because that would be a waste of time. So hope you all. So I did this in my notes. So we're just gonna go through it one by one, and then I did a little bit of a mock draft, which I'll show you. It's not official mock draft, but it's somewhere to get started. So Black Friday, not Black Friday, Black Monday firing. So I'm going to fire Luke Getzey. So let me take a quick sip while we digest this for a moment. Yes, I'm firing Luke Getzey because the simple fact that this offense has not produced under Luke Getzey, and some people say it's because of Justin Fields. Regardless what you say about it, I do not expect Luke Getzey to be returning regardless of the quarterback scenario. And even if you want to move on from Justin Fields, Luke Getzey cannot be the offensive coordinator no matter what. So now that Luke Getzey is fired, we have to bring in a new offensive coordinator, and it's maybe a controversial, but hear me out for a second. Offensive coordinator, I have the Bears hiring Greg Roman. And yes, I say this because I want Justin Fields to develop as not all to a best of his abilities, even if it means like it's going to mean, him using his legs. And the Chicago Bears have a top 5 run first team. They were number 1 last year and they're number 5 this year. So Greg Roman has a strong power run game. And we're even with Justin Fields using his legs, you have Khalil Herbert, you have Roshan, and I don't know if you want to bring back Dante Foreman or you draft a rookie running back in the later rounds and pair him with that strong run game. And Greg Roman is simple bootleg stuff, and I believe it lives and breathes under Justin Fields' strengths. So I'm going to go and hire Greg Roman. So, and speaking of Justin Fields, I'm picking up Justin Fields' 5th-year option. I'm going to give him one more season where, he I don't want to decline the 5th-year option because what if he balls out and then we have to pay him a lot of money, then he sucks the following year. So I want to avoid what the Giants did by any means, because the Bears, I actually believe that they're probably going to win 9 games next year, and they could probably sneak into the playoffs, allegedly, because I believe their schedule is very easy enough to get 9 victories. So I do believe picking up the option of Justin Fields is probably the smartest thing to do. So let's go to re-sign Chicago Bears players. Obviously, I'm going to re-sign Jalen Johnson because Jalen Johnson, honestly, he has been the best cornerback for the Bears lately. Actually, according to PFF, he is the best cornerback in the league right now. Even though, don't take my word for it, take PFF's word for it for a grain of salt. Also, I'm going to re-sign Patrick Scales. I'm probably going to have to assume that this is probably going to be a long deal. We need a long snapper when we kick field goals. I'm going to re-sign Rasheem Green. I feel like he has done good being a depth piece and very good on special teams. And I'm going to re-sign Dan Fetty also for depth reasons. For that center spot that I'll get into in a minute, because I do believe that Bears will move on from Lucas Patrick, because the Lucas Patrick experiment has absolutely fail, and I feel like they will move on and go a different direction with a center. But I do think, yeah, they're going to definitely draft a center in the later rounds, regardless who that might be. So next person, Mercedes Lewis. Again, like I said, not only for depth chart, but I have a feeling that he could be a good blocker. Like even Packer fans say, having Mercedes Lewis is like having a 6 extra offensive linemen. So, and we need that also for developing Justin Fields. And if you're going to get Greg Roman and have a lot of design runs and that run power offense that Greg Roman runs, Mercedes Lewis can not only pass block but also run block as well, which I believe he could do that for us. Also, if we're getting Greg Roman, also going to add Equinemius St. Brown because he's also a good run and pass blocker. And I'm not saying he can catch as well, but also I do believe that this will fit relatively well in what Greg Roman is running. Also, Joshua Blackwell, again, like I said, for depth spot for the free safety. I do expect the Bears to move on from Eddie Jackson. So, speaking of Chicago Bears cuts, I'm getting rid of Cody Whitehair. The experiment has failed. Cody Whitehair is washed. Cody Whitehair is past his prime. He's no longer the elite self that he was in 2018. So we're just gonna cut our losses. Thank you for your services, Cody Whitehair. And speaking of thank you for your services, I'm cutting my losses with Eddie Jackson. And as much as it pains me to say this, I love Eddie Jackson. I appreciate the 2018 memories, but it's time to move on in a different direction because he's getting up there in age and he's getting old. He's getting washed up. Also, I'm gonna cut Larry Bourne. When we lost Braxton Jones, Larry Bourne did not be able to take the step up. So I'm going to get rid of Larry Bourne as well because he's failed to live up to the expectations that the Bears have drafted him in the 5th round. And also, I'm going to cut Velus Jones Jr. And as much as I wanted Velus Jones Jr. to work out for the Bears, I view him as a potential sleeper candidate for us to work out. Velus Jones Jr. has a potential dropping issues, dropping left, right, and also besides kickoff returns, Velus Jones Jr. has been committing falsely turnovers and costing the Bears in moments. Also, let's get to the free agent signings. Also, going into this, I'm going to not include the contract details, and I'm going to have to break this down in detail for you guys. So, since the edge rusher spot is kind of an open market right now, and I do believe that we need to break the bank for this guy. I'm having the Bears get Vikings edge rusher Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter is having a career year so far with the Minnesota Vikings. And I think he can translate that and you add him to the other side of Montez Sweat. That is a dominant pass rush from the beginning. Like, imagine one side you have to deal with Montez Sweat, and then the other side you have to deal with Danielle Hunter. Montez Sweat is already having a career year with the Bears. You pair him with Danielle Hunter, and who has Danielle Hunter has 15.5 sacks. You add those two, and you have a sack machine. And it's going to be almost like 2018 all over again, where the Bears like kept on getting sacks all left and right. So let me know what you guys think. So also, letting Darnell Mooney walk, we still need to build a wide receiving core. And I do want to give DJ Moore, a former teammate of his, aka Curtis Samuel. I feel like Curtis Samuel could be a solid number 3, a slot receiver for the Bears. And since he has a lot of familiarity with DJ Moore, it creates team chemistry right away. So also, getting rid of Eddie Jackson, I'm going to bring Micah Hyde also for that safety position, and also pair him with Jaquan Brisker and have the outside because Micah Hyde is having himself a decent year. We don't need him to be any spectacular. I do believe we will draft a safety in the 2nd round to maybe develop him into not develop, like groom him in to be a starting safety for us in the near future. Also, for the center spot, I have John Filippo. whatever his I can't pronounce his last name, but all I have to say is we need a center spot ASAP, and I do feel like he could be decent for us, and then we later draft a safety in the later rounds, and we groom him into that starting role. Maybe John Filippo, either one doesn't perform well, or two he gets hurt, and I feel like that's a real way to groom your starting center. Also, I'm signing a backup quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, because I have a feeling that if Justin Fields goes down, you need a backup quarterback that can win you games. And I am aware that Tyson Bagent exceeded expectations when he started for the Bears. But I want to not rely on a D2 quarterback that doesn't have much experience going up against pros. So if Justin Fields goes down, I will 100% be fine with us signing Tyrod Taylor, because Tyrod Taylor is a serviceable backup. He does not turn over the football, which I want Justin Fields to learn from Tyrod Taylor, because getting a veteran quarterback absolutely helps a younger quarterback in his development, and Tyrod Taylor can do just that. Also, Billy Turner, again, depth spot for the it also gives competition for Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright. And to be honest with you folks, we need to uh, build through the draft on this offensive line, and build depth pieces for the offensive line. We have to get like younger and younger on the offensive line, so it can order to gel into being a top 5 unit of offensive line. Also, I'm going to go with running back. I do not believe the Bears will sign Dante Foreman. I'm going to go with Damian Harris, running back. I don't believe he'll be like a starter, because I believe Khalil Herbert has absolutely earned himself the number 1 running back, because I myself didn't believe Khalil Herbert was a starting caliber after Dante Foreman and Rashawn Johnson were showing flashes. I had some questions myself as Khalil Herbert, but Khalil Herbert has turned it around. Also, adding somebody like him in the mix will absolutely help out. Also, Ray McLeod. Again, we need a punt returner, because Velus Jones Jr. is not cutting it, and I'm letting Trent Taylor walk. I'm getting Ray McLeod. He's a very good special teams on a kickoff return, and he's good at punt return. So I'm going to go ahead and side Ray McLeod. Also, John Johnson, also strong safety. Again, like I said, depth piece for the safeties position that we add going forward, because like I said, depth matters. Depth chart matters. And also, last but not least, I have the Bears signing Irving Smith to add to that tight end. We Bears fans wanted Robert Tonyan to take the next step up, but he has not been doing that lately for the Chicago Bears. A lot of Bears fans want us to get Brock Bowers, but I don't think that will happen, because I believe he'll be taken before the Bears select him. So I'm going to have to sign a tight end and draft. I drafted one in the later rounds. So also, that is my free agency. Also, I'm going to have a mock trade. This is my early mock draft, folks. And we don't have, this is not confirmed to be the top picks for the Chicago Bears. Anything could change on Sunday following the Green Bay Packers win or loss. So hold on. So since the Bears have the number 1 overall pick, I have the Bears trading with the Washington Commanders, and hopefully this happens and we get Daron Payne out of it as well. I think Washington will be desperate to get a quarterback, but the question is, will the same thing happen to the Washington Commanders, what we did to the Carolina Panthers? And I'm also going to add in Marvin Harrison Jr. to pair with DJ Moore. And trust me when I say this, folks, with Greg Roman in charge, we are Justin Fields is going to go from what you think he is into what we expected him to be. So with Greg Roman, I do believe with Marvin Harrison Jr. because if you pair DJ Moore with Marvin Harrison, and Marvin Harrison is being compared to Calvin Johnson, so you pair him with DJ Moore and you got Curtis Samuel and you got Cole Kmet, that is a perfect duo. So and with the 10th pick, I have the Bears selecting Jared Verse. Like I said, I want to add more to the edge rushers and kind of groom Jared Verse into being around veterans like Daniil Hunter and Montez Sweat so he can learn under them and he could be also a monster in that mix. And also, speaking of safety, I have Tyler Nubin, safety out of Minnesota, like to groom him into being a starting safety for the Chicago Bears. Also, I do have a lot of offensive linemen. Like I said, those are just for depth pieces. And the center spot that I have is to groom him into being a starting center for the Chicago Bears. And receiver, I do have us taking Romeo Wilson. Like I said, depth spot to groom him in because we do need a number 4 receiver because Velus Jones Jr. as I cut in him and Tyler Scott can compete for that number 4. Also, yeah, guard, depth spot, and AJ Banner also gonna groom into being a tight end for us, and he'll learn under the veterans as well. And center, we have Seth Mig Laughlin. So that should we do need a center, folks, and I believe this will help groom him into being the starting role for these Chicago Bears. And this may be a controversial take. I do have us taking a quarterback, but in the 5th round, that's because I do not, even if Tyrod Taylor does go down, I still want us to have a quarterback that we can rely on for the most part, and that Jordan Travis. And Jordan Travis was solid for the most part, even though people don't give him credit. He was doing solid before he had his injury. So I do believe him being in that mix between Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, and he's going to have a lot to learn from to be a solid quarterback in this league. So I'm going to go with Jordan Travis. As far as this thing goes, I want to give a special shout out to y'all keeping it real. This is the first mock off season that I will be doing. Let me know in the comment section down below if you agree with this. If you don't, that's fine. We all can agree to disagree at some times, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching.